Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Saucy McPoodlefist, and today is Thanksgiving Day, and I'm recording this from my phone on low battery. So just in case you ever want to make videos for yourself, you don't need much more than a phone. Also, I have to pee really bad, and as I mentioned, the battery's low, so I don't know how long this episode's going to be, or how much of it I'm going to record, or if I'm going to be able to last without having to go to the bathroom. But anyways, in the last one, we played as Rebecca. She fell asleep, had a weird dream, probably about the girl who's haunting everybody and killing everybody. And let's get started, shall we? I wake up with a gasp, with my heart hammering hard against my chest and my lungs threatening to strain themselves from sheer force of breathing.
Stop. Stop thinking about it, Becca.
It takes a while before reality once again sets in for me to remember where I am. And here's another one. And, here, there's none other than clutter. What? Here, there's none of that clutter. Sorry that took me so long to get Ugh. No unkempt beds, no sheets forgetting to be put in order. Excuse me. No papers littering every other surface my eyes can reach. Oh, by the way, I just ate my Thanksgiving meal, so that's probably why I have the hiccups, but, yeah. No clothes left to be in an unjumbled pile somewhere. No empty instant noodle cups I used to remind her to clean up every other day. Okay, so she's lamenting about Rebecca, or Isabella, I mean. Only tables carefully laid out for customers, the soundless whir of the ceiling fans above us. Ooh, those ceiling fans are pretty animation for this game, or in this game, I should say. I'm not a critic. The murmurs of people dining in on the strong fragrance of coffee and freshly baked pastries. A sense of sharp relief overcomes me, and a long held breath escapes.
It'll pass. This'll pass.
Yeah. Close by, I can sense the manager eyeing me with a concerned glance. Beside her, the night shift guy at the counter is doing the same thing, his eyes darting from the telly in their kitchen and me. I brush it all away with a wave of my head and start gathering my things. I am out the door into the busy Luxembourg night streets before they begin asking questions. Before yesterday's ghosts can catch up with me. I feel you, Rebecca. I'm haunted by ghosts too, so. And yet, I end up back here. It's quiet now. Sorry, my nose is a little stuffy. Maybe I'm allergic to the food that I ate just prior to recording this video. I need to slow down. Just breathe, everybody. Into the nose, out the mouth. 3, 2, 1. From where I stand on the opposite side of the street, only the forensics and the scene investigators are moving in and out of place. There are a few onlookers, but none of them dare come close, unlike the last time. Some reporters are still asking the ongoing duty questions. The one on duty questions, jotting down notes from time to time, taking curious glances around. But otherwise, everything's peaceful in the area despite the hubbub this morning. If I squint, I can probably pretend like things have gone back to normal after a day. However, until now, the memories are fresh. Even the smell of blood seems to linger in the air, holding on to it, clinging to it like a bitter reminder of what we lost in a single night. Crivens, the smell is yet to wash out of my hands. I don't know what that means. If I have any people who live in other parts of the world who know what the word crivens means, please let me know in the comments below. I'm too lazy to Google it, and nor do I care enough to. But I've tried. Burned through a whole bottle of soap at the inn, only for the scent to last no more than a few hours. Then there's the images. The single instant when I touched her shoulders, the lifeless look in her eyes when her head lobbed backwards and her arms fell lifelessly to her sides. Creepy! However, more than that, more than I care to confess, is the guilt, and it feels more real than the scent or her memories. We fought that morning, outright shouted at each other.
Would it have changed anything if we didn't?
Yeah, maybe the ghost wouldn't have killed her if you weren't such a bitch! Just kidding. If I had treated her ideas, real or not, with less harshness, would anything have changed?
Would she still be here?
Sorry, I had to scratch my arm. I guess I'll never know now, well, unless you can bring her back to life. I let out another sigh, another reprieve from what's weighing me down, or weighing down on me, I should say. Hold on. Man, you never really notice, like, the things that go on with your body until you start recording, like, videos and putting them out on the public, because, like, all of a sudden, like, I felt like, okay, I'm just gonna record a video real quick, and everything's gonna be fine, and here it is, my nose is stuffy, my skin is itchy, like, I feel uncomfortable, I feel like I'm talking too fast, I feel like I have to pee, I feel like all these kind of bad feelings, and none of this was happening 6 minutes ago. I swear, I swear, I swear. Anyway, another reprieve from what's been weighing down on me, one of the many I've been allowing to slip out of my mouth lately. In a few days, they'll finally allow us back here to return to our lives and for who are left behind to begin the process of mending. By then, will accepting be a little easier? I'd like to believe so. Suddenly exhausted, I begin to walk back to my temporary home where I can pretend this all never happened before reality kicks in again. But short of crossing the street, a voice rings out, cutting through the thick silence, stopping me in my tracks.
What? Wait, Chief, no!
Frey, listen first.
You're in on this, aren't you?
Watch your tone, Frey. This isn't up for discussion.
A closer look reveals three people standing near a police mobile. One of them is Ashton, and LPD's chief inspector. The mobile blocks my view of the third person, but judging by the voice alone, it's Inspector Abigail. And it appears to be some kind of regular police talk, but with the tone of how loud they're speaking, it's all too brewing into a full-blown argument. It's close to brewing into a full-blown argument. Ashton in particular looks as if he wants to punch something. Or someone.
I was assigned here, Chief.
And might I remind you again, I can very well reassign you someplace else if you don't listen. Much less keep yourself in check.
Hold on, everyone, we're gonna do some bonus ASMR footage of me hitting my vape.
I
Alright.
heard you the first time. I just don't see why there's a need for this. I'm doing my job, aren't I?
Course you don't see it. Should I give you a quick briefing? You snapped at a grand total of 5 people today. 5. Record-breaking, really, when it was at 0 before.
Alright, I'm done
That
vaping.
doesn't count the ones from the forensics company, by the way.
No one's asking, Abigail.
Have you taken a look at yourself since this morning? I think Officer Carl might be a little afraid of you now, in fact. First time you lashed out on him like that. Actually, that was the first time we ever heard you lash out at anyone, and I must admit that was quite a show while it lasted.
I did not lash out at Officer Carl. Or anyone. Stop exaggerating things.
Did he or did he not? Is he in denial or are the police telling the truth? My experience.
Oh, do you want to bet on that? Because I'm in serious need of cash right now.
Christ, Abigail, I already told you it was just...
Or is it because of the victim? I heard you were friends with her, but this is getting a bit out of hand for a friend, don't you think? Is there something you're not telling us?
He's involved. He falters into silence. A pain expression falls across his face as his hands clench into a fist. It doesn't last, but in a short second, I catch a glimpse of what he's been thinking, what's been going on through his mind this entire time. The entire time. Just the night before, and the last glimpse of him with his back turned against me. But to see it up close, so openly displayed in front of other people, is an entirely different thing. He's never one to let his walls down like that. Is that why that coat reminds me of a character from Final Fantasy VIII? And is that why he's wearing the coat? Like, is that a JRPG or like a Japanese animation thing where, like, the dark, broody character who doesn't let his walls down and wears coats like that. I don't know. Now it's falling apart piece by piece without his meaning to.
That's none of your business.
Oh, no, it is my business, all right? I'm the one running this investigation, and you know how I do everything. This one most certainly does not have a place for young detectives with a bloody temper. You better stand down, hotshot, or I'm kicking you out with or without Chief here. My crime scene, my rules.
I don't have a fucking bloody temper! Will you give it a rest already?
Enough! Frey, get out of here. Take a chill pill. I don't need someone reckless running around this crime scene right now.
Chief, you can't be serious.
I am, I can, and I just did. Go on,
Damn.
out of this place, out of my sight!
I'm in the middle of...
Pass it to Abigail. All of it.
The weed?
She'll handle this for now until... I don't know. Till your head's back in its proper place.
No, you can't just...
Frey, this is an order. Take a bloody chill pill. Or go get some coffee, ice cream, whatever it is you like to eat. I don't care, as long as you clear your head.
I would make a drug reference joke there, but I can't think of any drugs that I would take right now to take a chill pill. A Xanax, maybe?
Come back when you've stopped looking like you want to dismember the person next to you. Is that clear?
Chief, please, not this case.
I asked, did I make myself clear, Detective Inspector?
Another pause. This one far heavier than the previous and bears the weight of his complete resignation on the matter. He doesn't look him in the eye when he answers, nor does his tone carry any of his frustrations. But his wall is back.
Loud and clear.
I did not hear you.
Loud and clear, sir.
Good kid. Off you go. I don't want to see your pretty mug here in the next few hours. You're dismissed.
Yes, sir.
Except this time, it's been rebuilt in the wrong place at the wrong time for an entirely different reason. What has? Knowing him, when it's like this, it will not hold long.
Don't worry about missing out on anything. I'll keep you updated once you return, all right? Take a break for now. You haven't slept since last night.
Thanks.
They leave after a pat on the back and nothing else. But anger and frustration together are cold, ugly things to carry, much less to swallow, for someone like Ashton coping with a whole different uphill climb. His is not the kind that fades away with time, nor easily forgiven. It's that sort that he keeps close, allows to fester and drive him. But when that doesn't work, when all of what keeps his mind occupied is taken away from him, he's nothing but lost. That anger, too, loses its direction. Interesting. So he fumes, stalks off to some place where he can be alone, where he can find something to vent it out on, where people won't see him more beyond than what he chooses to show. If that doesn't work either, he'll go back to the first step and do everything again, all until everything becomes a vicious cycle and it eats him whole, changes him entirely as a person. Damn, she must know Ashton really fucking well. He hates it when people meddle. He hates it when more people see him like this. He hates it more when people see him like this. But this isn't something he has to carry alone. But he will. This too is ours to bear. I won't let him suffer this alone. And with that in mind, I follow after him. Minutes later, I finally track Ashton down in a nearby park. He can't sit still, pacing back and forth, running a hand through his hair in a gesture of frustration every other pass that he makes. At some point, he has decided to take it out on a poor park bench, only for his foot to regret it afterwards. He returns to his pacing then. He has done it for the last 5 minutes, and at this point, he might end up digging a trench for the group if he doesn't let up.
Someone should stop him.
When I followed him here, I've intended for him to put an end to this. Had a whole speech prepared for him. But now I'm standing in close proximity to his temper. To him, I can't bring myself to even approach. That sentence didn't make sense. My feet simply won't move the instant I saw him. Before long, my own resolve starts to wane, gradually fading away underneath the uncertainties. What will he think? Will he appreciate this? He hates it when people interfere with his affairs, and I'm barging in on his business, and if it's something I'm entitled to share, as if it's something I'm entitled to share. When did I start thinking this way? Maybe when Isabella died. When did I start thinking this is okay? Maybe when
Why did I
Isabella
think
died.
this would be a good idea?
Maybe when Isabella died. I'm stepping back before I know it, although I don't make it far. In a rush, I accidentally step on a straw wrapper that somehow missed the trash. It crunches under my foot in the stillness of the park at this time. It's loud enough to disturb. Ashton halts, looks up, his vexed expression making way for bewilderment.
Becca? You aren't supposed to be here.
It isn't meant to be an accusation or to be taken like one. It's a simple statement, yet it sounds far from it all the same, a question underneath. Facing it now, I hesitate.
I heard, you know.
Direct, straight to the point, as clear and as forthright as I can manage. There's no way out of this, no way to go forward and straight into the heart of the problem. Dancing around the issues hold little meaning now after our loss, consequences be damned. That's right! Because more than the thought of meeting his anger is the thought of another thing consuming him. His grief. I'm more afraid of losing him to that. Someone has to reach out before he strays.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The chief? Inspector Abigail? Just outside the parking lot? Does any of that ring a bell? I was there, Ash. I heard all of it.
Would it have changed anything if you didn't? Don't rub it in.
What were you even doing back there anyway? Didn't they tell you this place is sealed off until we're done?
You're in no position to tell me what to do right now, Ashton.
I'm not... Listen here, Becca. We're already having enough trouble trying to pin down the asshole who did this. We can't find a shred of evidence. Don't add to our problems.
How am I adding to your problems? I just happened to end up there, and all I did was stand. That place is also my home, in case you forgot.
Yeah, no shit,
Seriously,
Sherlock.
Ash, what happened? What's happening to you? I've never seen you act like this over a case.
He was in love with Isabella Grace Santos Cruz.
You can always talk to me.
I can't just talk, Becca. How many times do I have to tell you that?
That doesn't mean I'll stand around and do nothing while you're doing everything to apparently ruin yourself.
What part of you shouldn't get involved do you not understand?
I wasn't trying to get myself involved in anything. I'm just asking what the problem is. Your problem. Maybe I can help, you know? Just like how we used to as kids.
We're not children anymore, Becca. This isn't as simple as the games we used to play back then. You saw what they did to her, with your own eyes. Whoever did this knows exactly what they're doing. If you don't stop butting in on police business, you could end up like the victim.
Oh, yeah? Wrong, exactly. So many other things going wrong in this talk. His stubbornness, his stupid assumptions, even the whole crazy idea of keeping us safe he has going on in his head. Is he expecting people to just accept everything as they are? But out of everything that came out of his mouth, the last bit of the whole bloody cake over everything takes the whole bloody cake over
The
everything.
victim has a name, Ash, and that victim is your friend. Why is it so difficult to say her name now when you've done it plenty of times before?
Does it matter now? She's gone. Even Zach made a bigger issue out of that. There are other things you two should really be...
It does matter. To you, it does. For a long time.
You've always seen her in a different light. Far different than the way he'd look at other people, Zachary or me. Always with a tiny gleam in his eyes, the darting glances and the kind smiles. Little things, little gestures. To others, it may seem like nothing, but to him, it means the whole world because it's the only way he can say everything without fumbling or losing his nerves. Right from the very start, I don't need to ask why. I've always had an inkling. I've always thought, I thought, the thought has always been there, hiding tucked and nearly sealed away at the back of my mind, in the same manner he keeps his own secrets close to himself. Which is why, when he swallows hard, his arms fall limp to his sides and shifts his gaze away. There's no jolt, no surprise in me. Just a slow, painful, burning realization of truth long held, of feelings never meant to be for me. And yet, in the end,
Like I said, it doesn't matter. You guys need to understand that whatever I say or do right now, this case isn't going to solve itself.
wow, is Rebecca a little jealous? In the end, it's him who cowers from it.
You keep on saying case this, case that. But this isn't just about the bloody investigation anymore, is it?
Well, you seem to have a better idea what it is. Why don't you lay it all out to me, so I'll understand? Maybe I'm missing something. Because honestly, I don't know what else this could be, other than what we've been telling the press. A fucking homicide case. The victim was murdered, and if you bring up that stupid letter again...
Will you quit saying that?
Well, what do you want me to say then?
Stop lying to yourself!
I'm lying? Becca, look here,
No! Enough! Enough with your cool act! I'm having none of it! You stop this! Stop lying!
Sorry.
Stop telling yourself everything and this is normal for you! Because it's not! It never was! It never will be!
Rebecca, I think you need to calm down.
Stop pretending Isabella no longer equates into all of this just because she's gone! Because that is a big, fat lie coming from you! She matters because it's her! She always did! No one else!
What about Rose?
Or you. She always did.
She's just jealous because he likes Isabella better than her. The very meaning behind it freezes him into place, and any excuses or diversion dies on his tongue. There's a bit more, however, beyond an unmoving stance and a sudden unfocused stare that's understanding and fear. He's aware I'm right, and every word I'm about to articulate at the very same time are ones that he's been avoiding. By the way, my phone's at 5% battery now, so we really need to wrap this episode up soon, so I'm hoping this scene ends rather quickly. But these things need to be said, even if it means having him face the unpleasant.
Regardless of what you're telling me or Zachary, I know that out of all of us, you're the one taking this the hardest.
I allow my voice to fade into the night, into the chilly air blowing in the distance between us, cold, sharp, unforgiving, much like the truths we have to face. Ashton is silent for some time, but the earlier shock on his face has given way to something flaccid, flaccid, subdued. And when the silence becomes too unbearable for him, he forces himself to move, to pace, treading the ground once again, one perturbed footstep after another, and running his furious hand to his hair before dropping it to his side. Later, when that too turns inadequate, he gives the park bench another good kick. This time, if it brings any pain to him, he simply takes it all in, as if that alone will dull the other pain.
Fuck.
Regardless, he continues, but this time there's something in his voice. A bitter note dropping to nothing more than whispers, he mutters to himself, a sound that is only meant to his ears to reverberate clearly in the park's stillness.
Ash, maybe you should...
Damn it, god damn it! I was hoping, damn it, I was hoping for her to...
His throat closes up, his words choke off, getting lost in his sorrow. Unable to continue, he passes his hand over his eyes instead, letting out a slow, ragged breath that brings him neither a sense of comfort nor relief. It's simply another reminder of what he failed to do.
I couldn't even... Damn it, all these years telling myself that
I knew it!
I couldn't even...
And this is when he breaks. Alright, we are going to end the episode off here. This is actually getting really, really good. And I appreciate you guys sticking with me through like my sickness and my complaining and my vaping and all that stuff. And we will continue in the next one. And I love you all. Give it a thumbs up if you want. If not, don't. I don't give a shit. And goodbye, everyone.